Doing it. Here we are, the first pregame Sunday NFL live stream. A few of us are getting older, and we realize that halftime streams weren't as easy, guys, right? So we thought, hey, let's do this as I'm messing around with that. I don't really like how that looks and the imaging. I tried to put up a banner, but we thought, how about we break down some bets, line movement, everything before the game starts? Just try to compile everything. Might be a little bit rapid fire. We might be all over the place talking football. And then if we get tired of that, we can talk about other things that happened this weekend. But let's do it, guys, because I know that we have a lot of bets. The podcast has been out there for the past day or so. We did the NFC, AFC breakdowns. A lot of line movement that I've seen this morning. Let's start with the Cowboys and Washington football team. That's one that I didn't see getting this high. Last I checked was 6.5, Yanni. Are we still hovering at that? Is that because they swapped out the benches, Dallas? What the hell's going on there?
Those custom benches, I don't know. It's sitting at 6 right now. I did not think that it would get that high either. It actually, I had heard sharp money was on Washington. It's hard to say there. I mean, there's been a couple minor injury notes there, but nothing unexpected. So I don't know. I know we have Dallas at -4, 3.5. I think you'd gotten earlier in the week, but
yeah,
talking about getting here. I mean, I almost think if you've got 3.5 and you're at 6.5 or 6, you almost want to try to middle this. And I realize it's not a landing number, but that number just seems way too high at this point. Am I wrong in thinking that?
You read my mind.
Especially with Pollard being officially out too.
Right.
Also, I mean, that's what I have right now. I have Dallas -3.5. And I think I was telling you guys, I told someone this morning that I was like, I might go the other, like I'm thinking about going the other way on this and just middling it out. And if the game's close in the end, I'll enjoy it and hope to hit the middle, but try to hit that middle because you're getting 4 and 6, which have been big numbers this year. 6 is actually, so then more games have landed on 6 and 7 this year, which is weird enough. And other than that, I mean, 6.5 is a lot. Pollard, was he questionable all week?
He didn't practice all week.
But the crazy thing is he was trending towards not playing. So it's
right.
Not like it's, a shock that he's not in there, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't get this one.
This has been one of the games that has moved the most in the NFL season, I think, because this started at 5, then it went down to 3.5, probably for only a couple of hours, and then we went back to like 4.5, 5 last night, and here we are at 6.5. I'm not doing any. It never stopped. JJ, did you take anything with a total here or anything?
Nope. No, I didn't play the total. I think when it opened, it was around 49. I thought that was pretty much right in between where I'd look to see either team, especially without, Dallas in the run game. It's hard to tell there, but definitely standing firm with you guys on Dallas -4.
Dallas -4. As we go through, I should have done this before firing up, but I didn't. Listing all of our bets at the bottom. We'll talk about that teaser real quick. Falcons and Panthers. This line hasn't moved. We're still at 2.5. We've got the Falcons in a tease. Then we tease the Ravens up. That's still holding at 3 at DraftKings. Over under at 44. Weather looks okay in Cleveland, right? Is it all right? The storms and all the wind is pushed through.
On DraftKings for the Falcons, if you're still looking to tease that.
Oh, a 3. Okay. Right now it's 2.5, but yeah, shop it around because here's the thing too. Well, here's the thing too. Like at times people hop on these books and there's some different juice numbers too. So like I feel like they like play to the player, and I'm not sure if that's legal or not. But Ravens and Falcons in a tease. JJ, what do you like a lot today?
I've got the tease that we spoke about on the pod Friday night, with Atlanta and Baltimore. Not pretty, but doesn't matter. When you got Yanni kind of pulling the trigger on some decent legs, and Carolina, we pointed out the flaws there. I think there's an argument there if you could even take +3, but feel a lot better with +8.5 with them, given the whole dynamic of Matty Ice and what we got going on, and what could really be a grind 'em out slugfest type of game.
I think so. And I don't necessarily think that Cam Newton should be favored in any NFL games in 2021, almost 22 here. Like that's just not happening in my mind right now.
Yep.
Quick thing. I 100% agree. Quick thing for people that have just joined. The last time that we were doing a live stream, I know that the comments, because we use StreamYard as a streaming service, we don't necessarily see the comments from Twitter ever since they've just been in Periscope. If you're interested in commenting, hop over to that YouTube page. If you go on our Twitter account, Wager Ranger, hop on YouTube, click the link. You can comment away. Other bets. Yanni, do you want to talk through? Oh, Schmidt got lost. Schmidt's gone. Oh, no. Yanni. So then Yanni, if anybody out there doesn't know, he posts all his best player props. He's got what? You've probably got 7, 8, 9 player props this week. Really good 10. Article though. 10.
I got 10 this week. I went a little overboard, but that's okay. I mean, there were a lot when you really looked and broke down the numbers that I think merited a shot. And then, I actually took it, and I don't normally do this, but took a shot on a couple that have not necessarily followed the numbers, but seem to be lining up well. We talked about Austin Hooper. Statistics will tell you he's not going to get there, but when you break it down, no David Njoku there. I think he can get there today. And then Saquon Barkley, we talked about. Numbers obviously don't support taking him over much of anything, but I think today's the day he gets it going. So a little bit of trying to read the tea leaves there. We'll see how that goes. But I did add a couple late bets here on team totals. And I know you added one on my team here on the Bills that I'm sure you want to talk about. But I think a team total that you can look at today is actually the New Orleans Saints. And I understand that they're limited at the quarterback position. They don't have a lot of weapons. But really, this is more a fate on the New York Jets. The Jets have given up 24 or more points in 7 of the last 8 weeks. So they're basically bleeding on defense there. Obviously, Alvin Kamara coming back. I think this offense gets a little bit better. Plus, you got the potential of short fields defense with that Saints defense there as well. I like them over 23.5. And then I also, and I hate to do it, JJ, I took under 14.5 for the Detroit Lions here on the road in Denver. And it's always risky when you're taking a total that's that low, because I think you use the term D all the time. You can stumble and get there. And it is possible. They could end up with 17 points. It could definitely happen. But no TJ Hawkinson, no Jamal Williams, coming off that emotional game, going on the road in a tough place in Denver against a pretty good defense there. I really see I see them struggling mightily on the offensive as well as Jared Goff played a week ago. I think this could be a really ugly game for him. And in fairness, you look at what's around him there. I don't know how any quarterback can make that work today when you look at those deficiencies. So those are my late added bets there.
So what was that last one? The under what number?
14.5.
Under 14.
Playing with fire, boys. You're playing with fire.
They're dealing with so much COVID too.
There's COVID. There's like
the team.
flu issues,
Jared
right?
Goff, so watch out.
Jared Goff with his small hands in cold weather. I haven't looked at the latest weather in Denver. It wasn't bad the other day, but things switched in like 2 hours there. It switched here on the East Coast in 2 hours. It was 65 last night. Storms rolled through, knocked out our power. It's down to like 30 something. So wild weather all over the place. That's probably not a good sign for planet Earth, but not a good sign for the Lions either, because everybody's just banged up. But they probably celebrated that win a little bit. Probably celebrated that win that they're not going to be, what would have been 16-1. So now they might finish 1-15-1. That's great. Just beautiful. Schmidt, anything you have your eye on today? I know that we talked through a bunch of things on the podcast. Did you do anything with Dallas and the football team? Did you do anything with the late game, maybe Bills and Tampa?
I didn't do anything with it. I was looking at Zeke's props since Pollard's going to be out, but all the juices on the overs, and Zeke looks so slow anymore. I don't trust him as far as yardage totals. Like if you could get me a touches like over for carries or even his receptions over 3.5 was way juiced, and I'm like,
Yep.
I don't trust him anymore. He's not as spry as he used to be.
Thanksgiving ended our any love we had for that man.
That was it.
We swore it off right after that Thanksgiving game, Schmidt. We said, you know what? We're done with Zeke props. Even if Pollard's out, we're done. I don't disagree with that attempt prop or maybe catches, but let's see what the game state is. Yeah, let's see what the game state. And that just brings me back here. That FedEx Field is usually pretty crappy. And we've got a lot of rain here on the East Coast. It rained quite a bit here up in Philly last night. I'm sure it did down there a bit. I think that field's going to be, obviously they're not playing in Dallas. It's not a fast track. That 6.5 now seems high. And I still have a good 15, 20 minutes but I might just middle this and just say I'm done with it.
6.5. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Yeah, I don't fault Dallas at all for bringing in their own benches because that field is kind of a dump.
Yeah, and it's always been a dump. Didn't like RG3 tear up his knee the one time, and they're like, "Yeah, the field's pretty shitty."
they've done nothing about it. Well, I shouldn't say that. But
let's see if we can get an ultimate fighting Mike McCarthy, Ron Rivera after the game there. A little words being exchanged between those guys. So
that's right.
I missed that. What so what happened? I certainly missed it.
Nothing big. McCarthy, basically said kind of did the old we're gonna win type thing, and Ron Rivera kind of fired back and just a little bit of jawing back and forth. But those guys are the type that they're not afraid to spout their mouth off no matter if their teams are good or not. So
that's 100% true.
Yeah.
And it still scares me that they have Mike McCarthy and say that they get into the playoffs, 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed even. It still scares me. So, like, if you have Cowboys, Rams first round, I'm taking McVay with the points if they're getting points, and I assume they will. And I'm jumping ahead by like a month and a half here. But I just don't trust McCarthy, man.
Well, you know what, though? You're right. And today, I think, is kind of one of those games where let's see if or how much of a deficiency McCarthy is. And what I mean by that is if Dallas comes out and handles business, I think we cut him some slack and we say, all right, he's got this thing together. But if they come out and struggle or if they lose this game to Washington, I think you're spot on. I think you look at that and say there's no reason Dallas should lose this game, even though it is on the road. There's no reason they should lose this. If they lose it, I think you do have to really start looking at the coaching staff at that point.
Oh, yeah. Because if they lose this, what's their record? Are they 9-5?
They're 8-4 right now, or what are they right now?
Still,
we're prepared.
I'm still having the coffee hit me. I thought that they were 8-4. It's 12:45. I'm like, I need coffee.
Yeah, so if Dallas lost today, they'd be 8-5.
8-5 if they lose today.
8-5. They still have Philly. They have Washington again. If they lose today, all of a sudden it's like, are we going to see Dallas do this again? And they'll make the playoffs, but you just never know. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. They're favored by almost a touchdown. Obviously, Vegas is saying that shouldn't be happening, but nothing else. Let's jump to Bills and Bucks. We didn't have anything on this. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast when we were recording Friday night, a little bit late this week. I jumped on Bills team total over 24.5. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. Looks like pretty damn good weather. Yanni should be able to verify, right? Looking pretty good. Warm and sunny.
No problems.
And I think okay. I like that. There's no wind, everything that we've seen up here in the past couple of days here at Schmidt and JJ. I like it. The Bills were even able to move the ball. Josh Allen was throwing last week, even in those windy conditions. We talked about it on the podcast the other night. Yanni, something that just hit me. The pass completion or pass attempt bet for Josh Allen. That's something that we could look at. I'm going to pull that up on my computer. I fact-checked myself.
So I did check that out, and I think it speaks better. I think your play is better with the point total over. Do I think that Allen goes over? I do, but I think Vegas is obviously anticipating that as well because they had that number way above where he has been over the last 6 or 7 weeks. So I think again, they're obviously we weren't as sharp as we thought we were predicting that because the books are all over that as well. So that's okay, though. I think you're right on the points here because when you look at the overall over-under in this game and you figure Tampa, they score no matter what. It doesn't matter what defense they're playing. They figure out a way to put points up. So I think you're giving yourself a really good shot here with 24.5. Now, obviously, we know games don't generally land on 25, but when you start to look at 26, 27, there's really no reason when you look at that Bucs secondary and the way the Bills should be able to spread it out. Especially, I don't think they're going to hand the ball off in this game. So I think realistically getting to 26, 27 points seems like a really, really good wager to me.
That's where I'm at. I considered taking the over in the game, but then I said, you know what? I'm just going to take the Bills with the team total over because I think the Bills can even win this game. It's not like Tampa needs this game. Like, obviously, do they want the 1 seed? Yeah, like everybody wants the 1 seed. But we saw what they were able to do last year. They pull it together when they need to in the playoffs. They had all road games. They don't necessarily need that one. If they drop 2-2 and a 3, I don't think Tom Brady's crying about that one. This is everything for the Bills right now. They need to get right. They've had a rough little 4 weeks here. So that's what I'm at, 24.5. The game total, I think, is like 53 or so. I'm not going to do anything with that.
You can get over 24.5 for positive juice on FanDuel right now, plus 102.
No shit.
Wow.
Not bad.
Really? Because I saw 25.5 yesterday, and that's 24.5. Okay, take a look at that. I really like that. And I don't hate the plus 3.5. I'm not taking the plus 3.5, but if I had to take a side, I'd probably take the Bills. And I'm hoping that it's a pretty damn entertaining game down there in Tampa, sunny Tampa. Okay. What else did we miss? Player props anybody wants to talk about? Side or total there, JJ? Schmidt, are you typing away? Because I hear just a bunch of glitchiness right now.
Yeah, I'm debating whether I should go blast the cat with a water pistol or not. Actually, I think
there's no animal cruelty, right?
Well, let's go back to what Yanni had said with the Saints team total over, and I think I looked at that when you put it out, and earlier this week that was a total that I considered attacking. Saw it open around 44 and leaned over, but wasn't really sure about injuries and all that. I think we have a much better picture of these teams. You see it drop down to 41.5, 42 for the game total. Just not sure what we get out of the Jets.
Yep.
But definitely I would think that those points are coming from somewhere. I'm still on the sidelines about the 41.5, 42. Might get there, might not.
I think when you look at the Jets, I think when you look at the Jets injuries, that would be my concern about taking the overall total. There is, can Zach Wilson get enough points to get over that against that Saints defense, missing 2 of their key weapons on offense?
Yeah.
I worry about that. I think that's why I feel a little more comfortable going with the Saints. I think that I think Sean Payton's going to have a run heavy offense, and I think it's going to be kind of what. Not quite to the extent, obviously, but when we saw the Bill Belichick hand it off until you could stop the mentality there,
right,
I think we're going to get a little bit. I think we're going to get a little bit of that out of the Saints here, which is Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara. We're going to run this ball. Jets prove that you can stop us, which I don't know that they can.
I don't trust the Jets to do anything. I don't really like betting on Jets games. A couple times they've burned me this year. I forget who they burned me against. I don't want to say it was the Bengals. I don't think I had anything on the Bengals because that was kind of like a spot where the Bengals were favored by almost 2 touchdowns. I didn't take them, but I just don't. I just don't trust them. How about this? The Chiefs and Raiders. The Travis Kelce over props. I bet something with Travis Kelce, and I'm not sure if it was 5.5 catches or if it was the receiving yards. Yanni, are you on anything? I think you are, right?
Yeah, Kelce over 5.5. I actually just looked this morning. I bet it last night. It was minus 125, so a little bit juiced. But I think at 5.5 catches, it's worth it. And, I wrote about this a year ago. He was 7.5 every week for his reception total. And it speaks to how much that Chiefs offense and Kelce have kind of slumped this year, that he's a full 2 catches down. But the Raiders are the worst team in the league at defending the tight end. A couple weeks ago when they played, Travis Kelce basically smoked them. He hit his over total yardage in the first half or basically beginning of the start of the third quarter. I think we see a repeat of that. I don't see how he doesn't get to 6 catches today. I think that's a really, really enticing prop.
Let's get on it. Do that. And if you want some extra padding, you could probably do a same game parlay of Chiefs money line with the Kelce over catches. I'm just going to keep the Kelce over catches because I don't know, man. The Chiefs have had some of these offensive glitches, and I kind of expect the Raiders to switch up their defense compared to what we saw them do when we were in AC about a month ago. It's crazy that's been a month. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. So I like that Kelce over catches. There was something else in your player prop article that I really liked. I think I saw
maybe it was that.
God.
I was going to say maybe it was what we talked about Friday, which was the Mike Evans over yardage, which, Yanni broke it down so well as far as the state of the Bills defense. And, when you lost Trey White, that now you're in a position where you've got Godwin and him, the tight end packages, all these sorts of things. That's going to make it very difficult to defend Fournette out of the backfield. Now you have a suitable, number 1 wide receiver that could really go over this total pretty quickly.
I'm all about it. I do have that Mike Evans. I've got over 60.5. I think that's close to what you had also, Yanni, 60,
Yeah,
61.
I actually booked it at 60.5. I wrote it up at 61.5 because that's what it was on DraftKings when I wrote the article. So stole a yard on the actual bet, which is nice. But
yeah, it's actually interesting that went down. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think going back to that Chiefs and Raiders game, I think the other prop that's really enticing is Clyde Edwards-Helaire over rushing yards. He's back healthy. I think they've kind of integrated him back in, and Andy Reid's been much more willing to run the ball to try to, I think, protect, a little bit of that pass rush that Mahomes is getting, move the ball. The Raiders have not stopped the run the last month of the season here. His total, I think, is 57.5, if I'm not correct, or 60. He might be 61.5. He's somewhere in that high 50s.
I'm pretty sure I saw 57, 58.5 about an hour
58.5. Yeah, I booked 58.5. There was a 61.5, 59.5, all earlier this morning.
I'm going to be honest. I think there is huge value in this. I would not be surprised at all if he has a 100-yard rushing day today. So I think when you look at that prop under 60, I think you're realistically playing with several yards of value there on that prop.
Get on that now. Get on that now because that starts in about 5 minutes. Schmidt, should we pat ourselves on the back for Army Navy and the under that was hit?
I mean, it's just an auto bet on the under. And when I saw that flash 45, I'm like, yeah, we're doubling down on this.
Oh, man.
We hit the Army Navy. I actually hit a live under 45.5 also, which was nice. Good call, Schmidt, as we were talking about that on the podcast Friday night.
Wound up hitting anyway,
So kicking off, and we'll wrap this up in a few because I think we hit everything. Kicking off soon, some huge games. But for some reason, I thought Chiefs and Raiders might be late. No, so you got Raiders coming. It's not even east. It's to the center of the country playing at, 12:05. You've got that Cowboys game. And then the late games. Are there 4 late games? That's not bad. Okay.
Well, and some good late games too. So
some good late games. I really like that Clyde Edwards-Helaire bet. I'm going to get that in as we sign off here. Anything else I missed? It was good just to go through it. 20 minutes flies by as you're having fun, but it's good just to go through all the bets, make sure we're aligned. Didn't even touch on anything on Niners Bengals, but that's a late game. I'm sure we'll be tweeting about it, but that game, I haven't done anything. I'm considering an overplay, but I might just enjoy it. Might just enjoy that one. Okay.
Where's the over at now?
49. It hasn't really budged.
Not bad.
Hasn't really budged. Do you have any thoughts on that one? Do your numbers say it's about 49?
Yeah, I would definitely lean over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, fellas, round 1 here in the books for the pregame stream. We'll do it again real soon. Let's get some winners here today. I'm pretty excited. I feel some good vibes here.
Love it. Good luck.
All right, guys. We'll talk soon. Guys. See you now.